Ladies and gents, we are back in another episode presented to you by Bollock Studios, where football nutmegs the nonsense. So, of course, joining us once again are the usual suspects. Shariff, welcome back, man. After your Raya break, holidays and all that, you were missing during the Ramadan month. Not just you, even we were also a bit missing. Very quiet, lah. No one to debate, And of course, Kuhan, welcome back, man. You've been also busy podcasting elsewhere, huh? That's good, lah. That's good. I'm impressed, man. So yeah, and well, of course, not football related. That's podcasts on separate topics in relation to your professional work. Yeah. So yeah, that's good as well. We will check that out. So of course, lots have been happening for the past weeks, man. So we are here to run through one by one. I'm not going to break it down as we speak, but as we speak, obviously, we will run through topics that, very long we never spoke about Arsenal. I know separately, Shariff, you were also saying that your friends were telling things like, hey, sembang lah pasal Arsenal.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, man. So I'm going to kickstart the first topic on Arsenal's 2 down, 2 to go. So I mean, guys, what's happening, man? It's like, look, they got knocked out the Carabao Cup. Fair enough. City has clinched that. And once again, they get knocked out of the FA Cup against Southampton from the championship team. And again, what's been happening? Let's discuss what worked, what actually needs work, and I've got questions to ask you, boys, man. But I don't know, Shariff, you were the longest missing, I know, after Puasa, Ramadan finished. Now, Raya also finished. I wanna ask you, Shariff, considering this, the narratives have been going on. Arsenal about to bottle the season once again, and are they like, I know, yes, 2 down and 2 more to go to complete the bottle, or do you think it's just
complete the bottle?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, so my question is, what's missing from Arsenal? They've got squad depth. They've got right mentality from players and all that, but it has reached 2 down, 2 to go. I don't know, what's your take? What's your opinion, man, on Arsenal?
Nothing is coming, bro. Nothing is coming.
I got no
answer your first question, what is missing in my, I do not know lah. However you look, like, I think you answered your question as well, Matt, right? They have squad depth. They have a very experienced squad. And they have striker right now. People were screaming last season, where's the striker? Where's the striker? They have a manager that has been building them for the past 5 years. Everything should work, right? I guess it comes to my analogy of cooking rice in the rice pot, right?
I so knew you were gonna go there, but go on.
Yeah, I in my professional football opinion, right? I'm not giving any banters here. I feel sometimes you got to let it cook lah. I think too much thinking were put in. I guess maybe they were caught surprised with City, right?
Right, okay.
People were saying that Pep Guardiola were deploying Eric Ten Hag, strategy where he don't press the defense, and then Arsenal kind of caught. I would not say caught off guard, but kind of didn't know what to do, right? When there were no pressing, right? And I guess it continued to the Southampton game, and I think that's where it's not because of a pressing again, because Southampton play a different game, but I guess Arteta were thinking, how do we, negate that tactic if Southampton played that, right? And they started playing in a different way, in a not an Arsenal type of way, right? At least from where I see, right? So. So again, it to sum up, I feel there's a lot of thinking, there's a lot of tinkering. If you look at Barcelona, if you look at Pep, even though for him to get to to the treble or the quadruple, right? He does not change the team much, and he learned that from the lesson as well. When he tried to play a false nine, and then he tried to change to a to the 3-4-3 and so on. And finally, he just let the team play as it is, right? So I guess,
Yep.
I guess Arteta and his staff are pondering too much on the data, right? They
Mhm.
just have to let the talent work. And maybe not much of set pieces came in into some game, I guess.
Corners FC not happening also. No?
Yeah, corners definitely never get corners.
so so
Good.
Kuhan, to ask you this question lah, considering how Arsenal has come a long way as well, right? I mean, given from how it first started, not just this season, I mean, backtracking a little bit as well, right? From the time Arteta started and all that. In your opinion, do you think Arteta has taken Arsenal as far as he can? Like, has he already reached that? Like, it's a bit brutal for me to say ceiling, but is this the furthest he can take Arsenal now?
No, I don't think so.
Good question.
Boom.
I think we have to understand one thing, that this Carabao Cup loss, let's face it, the Carabao Cup is for clubs who wants to win a cup for the first time. Or it's like if you have a new squad in your club and you want them to feel what is winning like, it's good. And the FA Cup loss, they were playing against a Southampton team which is on form. They didn't start with their normal starting 11 and everything. So I think these two losses will actually gear them for the Premier League and the Champions League as well. So I feel that he is tinkering the squad, and I don't think it's a bad thing because Pep Guardiola tinkers his squad all the time. I mean, Pep Guardiola have a far more superior talent to tinker with for every team he has been. So it's okay for him to do it. So he doesn't fall far off. But compared to Arsenal, there are several things happening now. One thing is that people are knowing how to counter the set pieces. And the set pieces works with only certain personnel in the squad. So I think, although he's doing some crazy stuff now as well. I mean, like he's doing some weird training with the pen, and then you know,
With the ball.
I
you
saw
know,
that. I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
that.
yeah.
bukan nikah, they put the spoon and then they put the telur lari and
Yeah, they are doing some
so he
preschool
got,
stuff, right?
so no, but the
Team
thing
building,
is,
team building.
we laugh now, but when it works, it might work, and
Yep, yep.
and
Okay.
then every other team will be doing it actually.
How? Which part of football you need to bring the football on the head and then one dribble?
Well, okay. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
In what world are we living in where this whole season of Premier League, it's all about set piece, not only Arsenal. There is almost like a 40 to 50% increase of set piece being put in emphasis in goals, in plays, and everything. That means there are clubs which are playing not towards attacking the goal. Okay, you cannot cut and shoot. You go towards the corner, try to get a corner, or throw-ins. We don't see that often.
Correct.
So they are trendsetters. So if they are, Hari Sukanika works for them, tomorrow Manchester United will win.
Yeah.
We'll be using that thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
having said that, their fixtures are also kind of tough. They have the Champions League game. They're playing Sporting. The City, Newcastle. They're playing Palace, West Ham relegation battlers. There's a lot of London clubs involved.
Yep.
As well with Fulham. So these are the games which they're going to face. And right now, I think with the defeats, which is a reminder, and after the international break, their job is only one thing, and that thing is win.
So
Yep.
agreed. I strongly agree with that as well. So I also wonder from my end, is pressure Arsenal's biggest enemy right now?
Any team will be.
I mean, I agree, right? Correct. I know. But looking at how far and how long Arteta has brought Arsenal to where they are at now, right? So maybe hence my question earlier as well, right? But but of course, the Sukaneka thing is a bit of a.
Well, mark my words, man. If he wins, a lot of other clubs are going to do it, man.
Yeah. I agree. So yeah, sometimes I just feel that I mean, of course, any team, yes, pressure is it's a straightforward thing, lah. Correct or not? So so of course, I don't know. I should ask before we move to the next topic, right?
Should.
I know I highlighted. I mean, of course, collectively, right? When speaking of signings, yes, a signing that Arsenal has always cried for a striker and all that stuff. And they've finally gotten it now. So it's like, yes, some narratives are out there saying things like, no excuse. It's a no excuse already. We've already gotten who we need, what we need, how we want to play and all that stuff, right? But do you think, in y'all's opinion, Arsenal need a big game mentality signing?
I think they have those.
Or
Exactly.
they already
I
have
think
it
they
now?
have.
I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
they're leading the table by what?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nine
I think
points,
maybe
but with
9
City
Yeah.
with
points
one
with
game
one
in hand.
game.
Yeah.
So I mean, they are doing well without having a top goal scorer. That means they
Mm-hmm.
I think none of their players are in the top three
Mm-hmm.
goal scorer list.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a new thing by itself. We are experiencing a club which there is a likelihood based on the table as we speak now that they will win the league without a top scorer and without
Mm-hmm.
playing sexy, elegant football. It's like you're
Mm-hmm.
literally seeing Sam Allardyce and Tony Pulis reincarnated
Mm-hmm.
in Mikel Arteta winning the
Mm-hmm.
league. So,
Mm-hmm.
so in that sense, they have everyone they need.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
keep in
agree.
mind, it is Gyökeres' first season.
Yes, I agree. And wow, but by along the lines you just mentioned that they will win the league. Arsenal, they
I
will win
said,
the
looking
league.
at the current table,
Oh, yeah.
they will win the league.
Just checking. Yeah, but of course, yeah. I mean, on a high, yes, Arsenal wins the league, and look, it's Gyökeres's first season and winning the Premier League. It's a statement lah. I would say it's a
Yeah, yeah.
it's a big thing for him, and obviously for Arteta, the players, the club, and so on lah.
I just
Simba.
want to add
Oh
something.
yeah,
Maybe.
just before that,
Yeah.
yeah, tell us.
I just want to add something. At the moment right now, where Arsenal is right now, which is 71 points, right? If we compare
Mm-hmm.
last season,
70.
they were second with 74 points.
Mm.
So they have been better. They are better, right?
Yep.
It's no brainer. And even though they are, I don't know, we were seeing one hand in the game. So I feel they are the better team. Arteta make them a better team compared to
Mm-hmm.
last year, right?
Yep. Yep.
Uh, the mentality is there. For me, everything is there. Everything is there.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yep.
only thing that is not there is, or maybe the only thing, the problem is that where I see, and I still say this is because they look too much into the details. They just have to trust the process. They have to trust the process. That's what they've been preaching for
Mm-hmm.
quite some time, and I don't feel that they are doing the same, right?
Yep. And of course, like you said lah, let them cook the rice.
Yeah, let the rice cook.
Let
Stop
the rice cook.
opening the pot.
Stop
Yes.
checking and all that, right? So yeah, man,
Stop
good stuff,
opening the
man.
pot, and then yeah.
Exactly. So, but of course, Arsenal, with upcoming match, they'll be playing Bournemouth this coming weekend. So yeah, let's see how that match pans out, man. And of course, City. I know, Kuhan, we were also talking about with City with a game in hand, right? So
Yeah.
well, hopefully Arsenal could still maintain that winning streak and just clinch the title lah. Just win it. Just win the Premier League lah. So that's all. As probably non-fans, but as football fans, yeah, that's the hope. The hope that we have, right? So of course, guys, moving on. From Sembang Arsenal, now we go to. I know on a separate note, we were having, Kuhan, you and I having banters lah about Liverpool. With Arne Slot, and we have a very good friend of ours who just hates Arne Slot. Huh?
I don't understand why until now. And he's a Liverpool fan.
He's a
Of course.
Liverpool fan. Oh man, so yeah, it's the same
Well,
good friend
Arne
of
Slot
ours.
won
lah.
the league.
Yeah,
He won the league.
exactly.
He's a champion. He's a
Yeah.
club legend.
Yeah,
Correct.
better
So,
than
but of-
Arteta.
Yeah. At the first
first
try,
season, Sabo. At that
Won
time,
the
first
first
season.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No need
So
to think.
a $500 million transfer. So everything he got.
yeah, he's got it. So yeah, I mean, of course, look, guys, for Liverpool to undergo again another loss, yeah, from the Premier League, I think the last they lost to was against Brighton, and then they lost against the FA Cup match against Manchester City, lost again, and I don't know. I should ask. Maybe I'll start with Kuhan lah this time, because you like to banter Liverpool.
Hey, no, lah. I like Liverpool. Come on. It's
Yeah. So
my father's club lah. I need to have some
yeah,
stake
of
in it.
course, right?
Right.
So I just wanna just get no, just pick your brains a bit lah. So yes, to a certain degree, we all can agree. Slot is building something exciting. Quote and unquote, exciting, but consistency has not been there. If I dare say, right? They kind of find rhythm, but then they kind of go down and all that. So are they, in your opinion, do you think Arne Slot's Liverpool is ahead of schedule, or do you think they are already showing cracks in this sort of rebuild?
Liverpool, for this whole season, it is playing a whole new system. And this
Mm-hmm.
system is meant to break low blocks. That's why they have
Mm-hmm.
Florian Wirtz. That's why they
Yep.
have strikers like Isak and Ekitike and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Their midfield are pretty strong actually. Why one thing they struggle against almost all the teams we have seen them playing, it's the right
Mm-hmm.
back position. They have
Mm-hmm.
not replaced Trent Alexander-Arnold
Yep.
in the basic defending part. Sloboslai, I mean, I've mentioned this before. He's a terrible right back. He scores goals, but
Yep.
then he's a better midfielder. Having
Mm-hmm.
said that, this is a rebuild of a new squad, and
Yep.
and also they are being found out with Konate being off form and Van Dijk not being very captain material recently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have
Mm-hmm.
always seen games where Van Dijk doesn't cause the mistake directly, but the
Mm-hmm.
play before that happens where his co-defender seems to have done the mistake.
Hmm.
Like he pandai cover
Okay.
lah.
Right.
So
Okay.
eh,
Okay.
so I think that they are rebuilding. If they sack Slot,
Yeah.
they are not going to be any better. Alonso will not come and do a work as well. And I think their worst signing of the season is probably again Frimpong. And again next season they somehow. I think the whole replacement part of this whole system is to
Mm-hmm.
basically replace Liverpool traditional game, which heavily rely on Mohamed Salah.
Yeah,
So
considering Mohamed Salah's final season,
yeah,
right?
I think they knew it was coming.
Yeah. Who knew was coming?
I mean, last season we knew, right? He was supposed to go to
mean,
Saudi, and then they
yeah,
won
yeah,
more
yeah.
season, and I think they knew it was this season he would go.
Agreed. And yeah, he's made that announcement. I mean, well, of course, he goes down the history books, man. Really. I mean,
Yeah,
really
he's a
kudos to Salah, Premier League legend. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so I think you kind of answered my another question I had also lah, Kuhan. When when you're talking about their defense, right? Liverpool's defense, where yeah, it gets a bit too open defensively, considering they
always
don't have
coming
exactly.
on their right hand side, always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. So, and I agree as well. They have not replaced Trent Alexander-Arnold. So, yeah.
they don't have a right back.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. This is sad. It's a sad fact. They don't.
Frimpong is
So,
not a right back. I think he is supposed to be Salah's
no, he's not.
replacement. In my, I
He's
think
a
he's
wing back. Yeah, he
he's a
should be
wing
playing
back.
for Amorim.
So,
Yeah, there you go.
but then I want to ask Shariff lah. See, maybe you're going to give me a very brutal answer. So, so considering, okay, see, look, Liverpool, obvious reasons, got knocked out of the FA Cup. Regardless where they finish, right, and with the form of the season and all that, would this be a success or a failure season for Liverpool after this
I
exit?
think when Yeah, look, we got to be honest here. It's a transition. I agree. It's a transition phase for Liverpool, right? We talk about transitioning from I think Kun touched a very on all good points, right? Transitioning from moving on with Salah from TAA, right?
Yep.
Transitioning from previous system from Klopp to Arne Slot, uh, transitioning also the new signings in. So it's a lot of transitioning coming in,
Yep.
right? And when you are handling those numbers of transition, right? It's not just one transition, right? It's not just transitioning a tactics, players, club structure, your tactics, moving in players, handling players'
Yep.
egos as well, right?
Yep.
So on and so forth. It is a transition system, and
Mm-hmm.
when I think where they are right now, at least to be number 5, and if they can qualify Champions League, I feel it's good enough. It's
Yeah.
really good enough. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to stick anything, but we've seen how other clubs will transition,
Mm-hmm.
fall down below 7,
Yep.
Some club
15,
transition for
right?
so long.
Yeah, transitioning for so long, right? So so
Macam pernah
I
dengar.
macam pernah dengar lah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think football fans are getting much more impatient because they feel the success, and I get that as well, right?
Yep.
Liverpool, because they recently won the league, and
Yep.
they are basically the defending champion, right? But you got to be fair as well. I think last season it was a little bit diluted league where every club
Mm-hmm.
has their issues except Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal, I do not know what's the
Arsenal
issue
bottle
last
league last
season.
season.
Yep.
Bottle, yeah, exactly. Arsenal bottle, and then maybe the striker was the issue, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
this season, it's for me. I think, yeah, I'm just speaking from a
Mm-hmm.
football point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I feel we have to be fair to Liverpool, and,
Mm-hmm.
and and I think Liverpool fans have to be fair to Liverpool as well. But
Mm-hmm.
for what if I come from a Man United fan, padan muka lah bro. I don't think so. You can go out anymore.
But I think I mean,
Lantak korang lah.
Alah, tak apa lah.
but they are in the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, they are.
And they are facing what? PSG, Kuhan,
Yeah.
because we don't speak about Champions League in
We
this
don't speak about
podcast.
Champions League anymore.
So, I think, yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I think well said lah. Well said, if you ask me. And yeah, again, I agree. To be fair, right? I mean, look, the guy second season in charge. This season only, Arne Slot has brought in players that, again, I know I've asked the question before, right? I had a whole different answer. So, but so that narrative that narrative didn't take place. Arne Slot is not getting the boot, obviously.
No, it's not.
Good.
And yeah, so of course our dear friend Kevin did mention before
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he's gonna stick around for the next 2 to 3 seasons. So that's our new Paul the Octopus there. A football prophet.
I think
Kuhan said you go by January.
I said by January, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but
And
Ruben
Amorim
Amorim
went
went
before
first.
January ran before that.
Amorim went first. Yeah, but again, yeah, give the man time, man. I think I would like to think Arne Slot is building something exciting. So
Yeah.
look, but I think well said lah, Sharif. Yeah, it's call it a successful season if they finish, on a high on Champions League and whatnot,
Yeah.
right? And but yeah, let's see, right? We're just again hopeful for that as well, right? So that's on Liverpool, guys. And moving on. So we spoke sackings and all this stuff, right? So with the departure of
Sack
Igor
in the
Tudor,
morning.
of course, it was so it was so obvious lah. Hey, that guy was, who was worse than Frank
Asking
de
for it,
Boer, man. So, we had Frank de Boer as well. Similar situation,
Boer.
right? When he managed Palace for a while, I think. Yeah. And now looking at Igor Tudor, yeah, I think that was pretty obvious. He was gonna get the boot, right? I mean, again, he was just interim, but who knew the interim was worse than a full-time appointment, man? So yeah, we've got now Roberto Di Zerbi, a manager that was in United shortlist, so for some period of time, and look, he has been appointed as Tottenham Hotspur's manager. Considering his success at Brighton, with over a plus minus 50% win rate, one of his great achievements with Brighton was Europa League qualification, right? If I'm not mistaken. So a manager who was known for his, possession-based build-up, playing out from the back under pressure, some degree of, some tactical bravery against, big teams, during his time at Brighton. And of course, his attacking output, which was very evident during his time in Marseille, where he improvised the pressing structure. He's known for his mixed defensive consistencies. So from my opinion, of course, I feel what Spurs has gotten in Roberto De Zerbi. So before I share my thoughts, Shariff, I know you had a good eye on Roberto De Zerbi. Very interesting topic as you mentioned. So I want to hear from you on your thoughts. Whether do you think that this appointment is the right appointment for Spurs? Like finally a right appointment. What do you think?
A little bit of chronology, because I think
Mm.
the viewers also need to understand who
Mhm.
is Roberto De Zerbi and
Yep.
what does he bring, right? I think you started well, right? He's a very modern type of football manager, right?
Yep.
He starts, from the build up from below with the high press,
Yep.
and then fast, and then his team adapts when to press, when to play possession based, when to have a very direct football, and you see his team from Brighton, and then we went to Marseille, so on, right? And you could see the standard of football when he entered Marseille as well was different, right?
Mhm.
However, that comes with a caveat with Roberto De Zerbi, right? He's a very modern, very young guy,
Mhm.
right? Not as young as Ruben Amorim. So
Mhm.
he's a little bit temperament as well, right?
Mhm.
Uh, what did he show? Right. So there are things like when he was in Marseille, when what they call that when he did not get he got his transfers shortlisted, or his transfer targets. He threatened the club that he wanted to quit.
Mhm.
And then when he lost 3-0 to I forgot which team in France, right? From a middle club team, he went the same way as well. So,
Yep.
by threatening a club that says, okay, it's not working anymore, and so on and so forth. But then, always after that quote and unquote drama,
Mhm.
Marcel always jump up, including winning with top league with PSG as well, right? So now, whether Roberto De Zerbi is okay a fit for Spurs, this is for Spurs to find out. One
Mhm.
thing that is consistent, right? When you see in Spurs from managers from Antonio Conte, yeah, what do you call that? Maybe not Nuno, Ange Postecoglou. I couldn't pronounce his last name, right? Ange, and then now to Igor Tudor, it's
Mhm.
always the club mentality, right? The players' mentality, right?
Mhm.
So if they change that, I feel they really have something cooking, because Roberto, like I think most of the top elite clubs were targeting Roberto, right? But it's Spurs to lose if they do not change their way, right? Antonio Conte did mention as well they got really irritated with the club mentality. Ange
Mhm.
as well, they rather lost the game than winning with Arsenal or something, or maybe I
Mhm.
like Arsenal win the league or something, right?
Yep.
And then with ego as well, I think that the players were not adapting to what he wants, and I think he was also frustrated as well. So the player
Mhm.
power is also there as well, the
Yep.
change of ownership as well. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of going on in Spurs. That's I think it's more not manager related, but I think one thing they got it right is the getting the proper manager, right?
Mhm.
I mean it's manager that has a potential to bring them very far. The only
Yep.
thing right now is that whether Spurs will change or not. So that's that's
Mm.
that's the thing. If they could, then I feel that it is a good
It's a good
signing.
appointment,
It's
lah.
a good
Mhm.
appointment, right? Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. It's a blessing in disguise, because Roberto should be available in the summer, but he is available soon, and that's why as you
Mhm.
mentioned as well, Man United and certain clubs could not pawn on this, right? So yeah,
Mhm.
so it's a blessing, but again, Spurs needs to change, because we seen consistent of I will say quote and unquote feedback from managers in the press
Yep.
conference,
Mhm.
where they had it enough, right, with the background nonsense, right? So that's why
Agree.
I think again, it's a good signing, it's a brilliant signing. But yeah, it can change into a worse signing. Depends on how does Spurs act, right? How does players act? How does the organization act as well?
Agreed. So, Kuhan, considering Spurs currently sitting 17th at the table and battling relegation with just 1 point above West
One
Ham,
point.
1 point only. It's just 1 point above West Ham. Yeah. So, because as we speak now, West Ham, but respectively, West Ham, Burnley, and Wolves are at the relegation zone. And of course, as mentioned, respectively. So, 29 points, 20, and 17 points. And Spurs is at 30 points as we speak. Yeah. So, Kuhan, what do you think that the Zerbi need to do at this point, considering where they are at now at the table?
Actually, my opinion is that this is how you get relegated.
Ooh.
Meaning changing
Okay.
manager?
Yeah, I mean, changing manager, especially getting a manager who's not a relegation expert. Zerbi is totally unproven in the dog fight. He's still playing beautiful football. He's a sought after manager. The onus is on Manchester United actually for not bringing him sooner, because Spurs managed to pursue him to come to a relegation battle club actually, and there is no relegation clause for him, so he has a 4 to 5 year deal, which even they sack him, he's a made man. He's rich after this.
Yep.
So regardless whether he
Yep.
saves Spurs or not, and that's why I thought that Igor Tudor was a better. It was better to keep Igor Tudor because he had some positive results, especially against a Liverpool side. They drew, and he is a fixer. He does well. He did well for Lazio. He did well for Juventus.
Yep.
To fix just not the interim role. So I think they should have given him a
Understand.
bit more time. But now you're bringing in Zerbi. So I think this is what we will call a corporate up lah.
No, don't cut.
Corporate too scared. Because why I say that is that because Daniel Levy has been replaced and now is being run by someone else, and they thought they had a plan with Thomas Frank, but they couldn't sit with Thomas Frank. They still wanted
Oh yeah, Thomas Fan forgot.
yeah. So
yeah.
they wanted results, and then they sacked him. And though it's a relegation battle thing going on, they shouldn't have sacked Ange Postecoglou first. That's the first thing. He won you a cup. You do not sack him, although he was close with relegation. Then they went with Thomas Frank. They were not patient with him. And then they went with Igor Tudor, the fixer. It didn't work out results-wise, but I think if they stick with him, they would survive relegation. Now they're going with a manager, which is one of the top managers in the world. Let's say he's in the top 10, I think, in the world. Let's put it that way. He managed a Marseille team, which was a mediocre Marseille team, but they play really great football and everything. Do you think that playing great football takes time to organize? Is this a relegation dogfight? Can you win in a relegation dogfight? So
Yeah, that's a good point you brought up there. Yeah,
I think that
exactly.
if he would have went to Manchester United when Manchester United needed him, and if Manchester United would have pursued him better to come, that would be a good proposition for Manchester United. In the long run of things, actually. And I
Right.
think Manchester United missed out. And now that's why you're hearing Carrick is being touted to be the next permanent signing. So it is connected, actually. And how Spurs got him, any manager will not come unless the money is really good, which, again, the top management of Spurs, with their brilliance, they don't know how to handle a relegation dogfight team at the moment. So, and West Ham, they are quite seasoned in this.
Yep.
And their manager is very seasoned in this. So I would not bet against West Ham not to survive relegation based on the league table, because Spurs is in uncharted territory, and once you come to that uncharted territory, you have to be very careful with your appointments. So, and we have to give kudos to Manchester United, who, although they were also probably 16 or 17 in the league last season, they stick with Amorim. So
15, 15.
I mean, but they were skirting in that area. Let's put it that way, lah. So I think the
Okay.
lowest position in the Premier League era, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah. It's the lowest.
so
Yep.
they stick with Amorim, regardless whatever happened later on. They didn't push the gun actually, and if they did push the gun, I don't know
Yep.
what would happen. And I think this changing of manager, we are seeing this happening with Chelsea as well, with Rosinio, which is respect the ball in the middle and doing weird stuff and having weird press conferences, trying to be this uber guy, modern guy, all the things. Well, you can see this happening a lot more. Changing manager is not a good thing, and changing manager for a relegation dogfight is not a good thing. And this is like history repeating itself because this is exactly what Newcastle United did when they got relegated. And Spurs are not the biggest club to get relegated if they get relegated because they are not Premier League champions. Leicester was Premier League champions. They are a bigger club than Spurs who got relegated. Blackburn Premier League champions. They got relegated. Leeds
Yeah,
also were Premier League champions or maybe the first division champion.
Yep.
They got relegated. And if they go down, it's just another club which is mismanaged. And it's all coming back to the corporate top management mistake. Period.
Well, yeah, good point. I think I actually agree with that point as well. So yeah, I think that's on the Zerbi, man. So of course, well, I think it's a very good appointment. Bringing the Zerbi
Not
in.
at the right time.
So again, yeah, I was just about to come to that, right? Because look, guys, I mean, we are at game week 31. I mean, game week 31 entering 32, I think.
32.
Yeah, 32, right? And what? 6 more games left.
Yeah.
6 more Premier League games. Yeah, I know I've said this similarly for Michael Carrick when he was appointed as interim manager, steady the ship. I think that's the hope that now possibly every football fan, or let alone Spurs fans.
Spurs fan.
Yeah,
We want
Spurs fans.
Titanic down.
You just want them to go down.
I like seeing big clubs go down. It's nice.
And this is a funny thing, right? Should this happen, so just before we move to the next topic, right? Should this take place, Spurs getting relegated to the championship, would they by far have the best stadium in the championship?
Oh yeah, everyone would love to come and play.
Think about it, right? Yeah, they would have by far the best stadium,
the most
right?
modern.
And yeah, correct, most modern, state of the art, all that bull crap and all that, right? And they're playing in the championship. So yeah, of course, not ideal, but it is what it is, right? Should they get relegated? But of course, the remaining 6 Premier League games for Spurs, I think they've got Sunderland. They're playing Sunderland away this weekend.
Sunderland, Brighton, Wolves, Villa, Leeds, Chelsea, Everton. And Everton is not an easy place, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So they've got pretty
easy games in the Premier League, right? I mean, I can say
it's not
any
so
other team, it doesn't matter, but it's still going to be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. So yeah, man, that's that on Roberto De Zerbi. So of course, we wish him all the very best. Steadying the ship at Spurs, and yeah, just bring them the results, and let's see in the upcoming 6 games. Let's see where Spurs is at. Yeah. So that having said, Enzo Fernandez's comments very recently, there's some statements that he brought to the press, criticizing the mentality of players and then his kind of fallout with players and all that stuff, and which led to not just a stir in the dressing room. Liam Rosinio dropped him for 2 games, considering Enzo Fernandez being the captain. Shariff, I'll start with you, man. For a captain like him, right? I mean, any captain for that fact, coming up with these sort of statements, what does that already tell you about not just the player, maybe player or club? I don't know. What do you think?
I like that. I think I like that. I like player with character. I think that's what lacking with MU as well. The only mistake is he's speaking out in the public, right? If he has kept it in the dressing room, right, in a training ground and laid it out all to the Chelsea players because they need a wake up call because I guess this is what I'm not in the Man United training camp, But I could imagine that's what Darren Fletcher did before he left, right? It's like, this is it, guys. No one is going to save you. You are going to save yourself, right? Carrick is coming in, and then it's up to you to save the season where you want to be. Your World Cup is there, your Champions League position is there. You got to make it happen, right? And I guess it's the same thing with Chelsea as well. I think that's what Enzo Fernandez is just trying to imply in his own way, right? And I like it. I like it. I want my captain to speak out. That we've seen great captains like this, like Roy Keane, the Pratik Vieira's, the Mati Kyun and so on, right? The only thing is that you got to do in closed doors, right? I understand his frustration, his maybe he didn't control well, right? But it's true. It's true. I think what do you call that? Chelsea, Kuhan did mention, right? They sack managers like
Yep.
like nothing, right? They cannot go through again. And then we also have recent heard rumors that Liam might be getting the boot as well. So I
Yep.
think that's what he Enzo, maybe I am assuming that's what he just fed up, right? If this gets again again a new manager comes in, what next, right? So yeah, I guess he's just laying things as it is. For me, yeah, he should be done in the closed doors.
Okay, right. I mean, if you were to relate to some of the previous captains you've mentioned as well, right? I can agree. I mean, you be professional. Take it behind closed doors. Why take it to the
Yep.
press? So unless you are Kuhan lah, just take it. Just hantam only lah. Don't care, just shoot only.
Maybe Kuhan likes that, right?
Never know, right? But okay, yes. Although his comments, right? Okay, regardless lah, his comments and all that. Kuhan, he was dropped, eventually after his comments, right? Right call, or do you think it's an overreaction?
I think as a captain, always unhappy about he can say it in public, he can say it in closed door. But what I think the management is the fact that he is putting out the banner, I'm for sale, come get me.
Yeah.
That is what
He's fed up. Yeah.
I mean. I don't think he's fed up. There is no better club you can be other than Chelsea. For the fact that it's a London club, they have yeah, of course, it's a London club, and I don't think a lot of clubs can afford him as well. Like Barcelona, for example, maybe Real Madrid would, but he is openly telling that he wants to move to Spain. And
Yep.
and these are all indicative of come get me, and he's set to put a transfer request, but the point why he got banned, I think, is because it's just too early. Can't you just play the game, be your captain, and
True.
and go on. So
Yeah.
and this is, I think, he was telling this in Buenos Aires, I think, where normally for
Yeah.
some reason players, when they go for international duty, they tend to be very comfortable and cozy with their own quarters and everything.
Yeah, I think language also, right?
Language.
I
I
don't
was
think
just
it's a
about to say
language. I
language.
don't think
Like gana tu.
Of course.
Tanya fans aku
no, but
I know
was
people
a
say.
so even Cucurella also said the same thing, and I think one problem with Chelsea is that they have one of the youngest squad, which is good enough, but not good enough to compete the biggest prize. So some of them are not maturing, and some players who have matured from Chelsea has matured elsewhere. For example, Tino Livramento and Luis Hall.
Yep.
So I mean, although Chelsea has great players like Reece James. And Palmer is being off form, and Liam Delap was so amazing last season, and in this season he is just a championship level player. So Chelsea, probably, if you are a player there and you're reaching the right age, I mean, to be fair, Enzo Fernandez is a World Cup winner, so he wants to be in a big club, to be at least to be challenging for big stuff. So and it's fair for him to be there. See, Cucurella as well is a big player, so I think it is disrespectful, and I think we will see again a summer where player power will prevail, and maybe it'll be a different club. Hey,
like you were saying just now, Kuhan, right? Yes, the youngest team that Chelsea has, Are you including the manager as well? He's also a very young manager. Do you think that's also contributing to a certain degree of discipline and characters in the dressing room, and that's which is transpiring on the pitch and all that?
Likely the case, because I think the Premier League is a difficult place for you to be a manager. That means what I think is for you to manage the Premier League, you have to go through either you learn from the best, like what Arteta did, or you become like take care from small teams and going up and everything. You can't do the Gerrard immediately come in, Lampard immediately come in, and I think Rosenio also is doing the same thing. He's been immediately come into here. I mean, like into Chelsea, where he's bound to struggle. The Premier League is unique. You cannot grow young managers immediately. You cannot get someone like Cesc Fabregas or Alonso coming and starting out in the Premier League. You cannot do that. So I think this is a problem. The Premier League is not good for young, aspiring English manager, especially. But when people are starting from the bottom, like Frank Lampard is doing well with Coventry at the moment. They are leading the championship. So when they go starting from the lower ranks, I think they get a better chance to manage Premier League teams. They are good. They become, how to say, masak lah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit too soon, this job for him.
But considering him a key midfielder in the Chelsea squad now.
Enzo, you mean?
Enzo, yeah. One of the key players there. And with this now being benched and all, I think he was benched the previous game and the upcoming game as well.
Yeah.
Shariff, considering where Chelsea is at in the table and the way when their recent performances and all that stuff, and now with dropping Enzo Fernandez, in your opinion, do you think that's like, can they actually afford to do that in this crucial run of these next coming games and all that for Chelsea?
For me, again, I think if Liam did not do this, ban him, then it might show his weakness, right? So I think this is a club and Liam's decision as well, right? I'm also thinking the same thing, right? So because if he can comes out and do that and not getting any consequences, I think that sets another precedence to other teammates as well. Imagine next Garnacho coming out, and then Liam Delap coming out, and others will say this, and so I think I think it's putting to a stop, right? No player should be bigger, right? Again, like I mentioned, I like players with characters, right? With backbone, enthusiasm, right? But you got to do it in a closed doors, because when you do it, there's definitely consequences, right? And I guess whether Chelsea can afford or cannot afford, I think it will make it much more worse if they did not ban him, right? But let's see how do they cope. I think Chelsea's a big squad.
Biggest squad in the
Caicedo
Premier
can
League.
comes in. Correct. So they can, like what Kuhan said, today they can play dragon, tomorrow they can become a different type of sheep or something, right? So I think I will be much more worried if he does not face the consequences from a footballer point of view, right? Then it will shows like to the youngest players, and then he got away, so I can do something else.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you brought up. Yeah, so someone has to get it lah. Someone has to get it in order to send that message out, right? So I think that's a good point.
And sorry to add also as well. And he did well as well. He came to the game, right, and support Chelsea. From
he
stands,
did.
right?
He
so
did exactly.
Yeah.
Which people are not talking about,
Exactly, of course.
People are not talking about that, no. Yeah.
That's what the internet is, right? we only report people do bad stuff, but then when they do good stuff,
they don't actually bring that up. And but of course, with that having said, Chelsea will be facing Manchester City this weekend, man. Oh,
with a band Enzo,
Yeah, with a band Enzo Fernandez. So
maybe tarik balik. Maybe you turn good.
That's worse.
That's worse.
Actually, in fact, it's worse, So, guys, with that having said, we have obviously come to the end of the episode for now. So of course we're covering from where Arsenal would finish. Would they complete the bottle after going down 2 and 2 to
like
go?
that
We
word,
don't know. And of
Complete
course,
the bottle,
as much as we covered, Liverpool are undergoing transition. This topic was, of course, even in the early of the season we did bring this up as well. So are they still? They are still undergoing a transition, rebuild, more like learning. And of course Spurs, Roberto's Zerbi's appointment, is it a good one or is it a gamble? Is he going to steady the ship? Let's find out in the next remaining 6 games. And Chelsea going through disciplinary action. They have benching Enzo Maresca. I keep saying Enzo Maresca. Every time when I say Enzo, the next name is coming out is Maresca, right? Fucking hell, it's Fernandez, right? Enzo Fernandez, right? So going through disciplinary action, considering his comments and all that stuff. So yes, some degree of chaos, but ultimately, well, that's what Bollock Studios brings you, right? So with that having said, yeah, it's all utter bollocks. So this is me, Matt, your host, signing out alongside Shariff. Thanks for joining us alongside as well, Kuhan. Yeah, thanks again. And until the next episode, stick around. Peace out.
Bye.
Cheers.